Recording. What's up guys, it's Martian here. So today I'm back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the expressions between and among. We're going to be talking about their differences, and I'm also going to try to come up with some tricks so that you can be able to identify which is which and use each one of the phrases accordingly. So stick with me to the end of this video so that you can learn how to use each one of those phrases accordingly. And as always guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notifications bell so that YouTube will let you know whenever my next video goes up. Generally speaking, we use between when talking about one-to-one relationships, sort of like when talking about reciprocity, and also when representing a choice. Usually, we use between when talking about two things, for example, between red and white. But we also use between when talking about more than two things, and I'm going to talk about that later on in the video. Talking about a one-to-one relationship, an example of that would be something like, I want to talk about the difference between who and whom. Like who and whom have a direct relationship. And by the way, what's the difference between who and whom? If you want to know the difference, I'm going to put a link down below so that you can see my video about that. We also use between when talking about reciprocity. For example, a conversation between two friends. Like there is some sort of like a reciprocity there. Here's the bottom line. We use between when talking about two things, representing a choice, reciprocity, or some sort of like a one-to-one relationship. But we can also use between when talking about more than two things, just like I mentioned earlier. But we gotta use between for more than two things when we talk about things that belong to the same category. For example, I want to talk about the difference between watch, look, and see. Like, these are all verbs, and they pretty much mean the same thing. So they belong to the same category. To make it a little bit more clear, I'm going to give you an example of things that don't belong to the same category. For example, I want to talk about the difference between trees, books, and equations. Like, those are completely different things. They don't belong to the same category. Like, they're not verbs, objects, or any other thing that makes them belong to the same category. So you're not allowed to say, I want to talk about the difference between trees, books, and equations, because they don't belong to the same category. Now let's talk about among. We use among when talking about things that belong to a group, and it's gotta be more than two things. I'm gonna give an example. Intolerance is common among people of Asian heritage. I'm not talking about people of Asian heritage as like specific individuals. I'm talking about them as a group. That's why I say among. Like I'm talking about the group, not specific individuals. And by the way, just a little disclaimer. This is not a statement of truth. It's just an example for educational purposes. I'm gonna give you another example. Many people like to live among like-minded people to be able to fit in. Like, I'm not talking about people in terms of like specificity. I'm talking about people in general as a group. I'm gonna give you another example. Let's say somebody comes up with a bunch of shirts and they want you to choose one of them. And you feel a little bit confused. So you're gonna say something like, I'm trying to decide among these shirts. Like there are so many shirts and you are talking about the shirts as a group. Now, when you pick two shirts, you can try to decide between those shirts, like one that's red and another one that's green. So you're gonna be choosing between them. If you still feel a little bit confused, just look at this picture. Okay guys, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you tomorrow.